தினம்தோறும் விளக்கேற்ற நல்ல எண்ணெய் இதயம் நல்லெண்ணெய்.
Come here, I think all of 4 or 5 times in my life. I rarely come to Chanakyaa, and certainly today it was not on my priority to be here. I had other work in Madurai, Pune yesterday. I have to be back in Madurai tomorrow, in Chennai, Monday and Tuesday for the flag hoisting, and then I'm going to Malaysia to present a paper at a conference Tuesday night. But Dr. Kalpana was so insistent, came and saw me so many times, that I had no choice but to say yes. So I made a rare visit to Chanakyaa today. But I must say that, of course, as insistent as she was, I came for 2 really important principles. One of the things that I hope distinguishes me as a politician, as an MLA, as a minister, is that there's very little gap between my espoused philosophy, my values, what I say on stage, and how I go about prioritizing projects or implementing policy as a minister. As some of you may know, for 2 years I was the Minister for Finance, Pensions, Planning, Development, as well as Personnel Administrative Reforms. About 80% of the government's administrative portfolios were with me. And every single time I opened my pen to sign a file, every single time I started to write a budget, I started from first principles. What do we stand for? Why are we in public life? What do we say our values are? And how is what I'm going to say, or how much money I'm going to allocate, or what file I'm going to sign, how consistent is this with the values that I say I stand for, that we say we stand for as a movement? In that sense, about the most important thing that distinguishes the South from the North, as the President pointed out in many ways, with the thing that distinguishes the South from the North, it is the empowerment and equal access given to women. That's what distinguishes us completely. And this started in the 1920s. This started with the first Justice Party government. I proudly say I'm a 4th generation member of the Rodian movement. My great-granduncle was one of the founders. My grandfather was a member, minister, chief minister. My father was a member, minister, speaker. And I've now come back. But starting in 1921, when the right to vote for women was first legislated in the Madras Presidency Council, followed by compulsory elementary education for boys and girls in 1921. From then onwards, we have understood that unless you get 50% of the society, or in my case, in my constituency, more than 50% of the population of the voters are women, unless we get them equal access, then we cannot progress. Everything else is actually stuck at that ceiling. If half your society is not participating in that, long before the government of India did it, decades before. So if we don't have these things, then nothing else works. In that sense, this is a field where it is probably second to none in its importance for the development of women. Clearly, we have many statistics that show that if you do not have girls continue in school till they finish high school, then everything else fails. Of course, they have to first get enrolled in elementary school. In many states, that is not quite in the right place. But the transition, even in a state like Tamil Nadu, going from compulsory elementary education to getting them all the way through to, let's say, high school and then college and then job, entrepreneurship, the single important thing is menstrual health and gynecological health. And if we provide those to those girls as a state, it's our job to do that. If we provide that support, then they continue through the cycle of menstruation, through maturity into actually graduating high school. And this is what we really feel proud about in Tamil Nadu. Something like 87-88% of our girls at the age of 18 have graduated high school. That is an amazing statistic, and that statistic alone can distinguish almost every difference that we have between Tamil Nadu and any other state, and have them participate in the process. So I would say these camps are very important because they start to break down these barriers of access and awareness and education. And I hope that they will have serious impact. I suspect they will have much greater impact in the north than in the south, but we shouldn't kid ourselves that everything is working, fantastically well in the south. There's a lot of things that need doing better here. And in that sense, I would second the President's impetus this year. One of his key areas that you should do business development. You should do it not just for yourselves as doctors who need to run some kind of a economic enterprise, but because I think you need to get more people aware that it is just like we go and check our teeth once in 3 months or 6 months, that you must go and check yourself in a gynecological specialist. And this awareness, I think, we can also push through the government. Of course, in places like Tamil Nadu, we have fairly good public health, but clearly that is not quite enough, and a lot of people more can benefit if they were aware. That one of the casualties of COVID was a rise in maternal mortality. Now, when we went and did an analysis, it showed a bunch of different reasons. One is that the medical resources all got diverted towards COVID relief. A lot of the infrastructure was not made available for general care. Because of lockdown, a lot of people didn't come and couldn't get access. But there are interventions that we can take to greatly improve this risk. For example, in my constituency, I have, through my MLA constituency development funds, purchased scanning machines, both the base scanning machines like 5 lakh, 6 lakhs, as well as the more 16 lakh, 18 lakh complex scanning machines, and made them available in the private diseases for regular medications, etc. We don't want people to come to the health centers. We improve our data and we start sending the medicines to them on a regular basis, and now we're expanding those services that are being covered by that to include things like physiotherapy for the elderly. And if I had my way, which I hope we'll get soon, many of our elderly live alone, elderly women, and because of life expectancy being much higher for women than men, and because the marriage model is that men marry much younger women, we actually have a lot of women living alone who are old. And we are trying our best to incorporate some kind of social interaction component into this Mkstalin Marthuvam, so that elderly women are at least interacting with other human beings on a regular basis, and that's a huge component of mental health, as you know. I agree that technology can be a great enabler of access and a great accelerator of good outcomes. That's true in innovation in terms of laser surgery or remote surgery, robotic surgery. It's also true in terms of medication. It's also true in terms of just having enough information to make informed choices or to track patients with proper databases and so forth. And I think as a government, we do some, we need to do a lot more. But I was also quite touched by the story of the President's father and all the things he had done